Blitzburgh Steeler fans, thanks for joining us for another Wednesday night episode of your favorite show, the Pump Your Brakes podcast. I'm your boy Tate, one of the hosts, along with my two other co-hosts, the triple OG Shannon White and the little big fella Big-G. What's up, gentlemen?
What's cracking, Tate boy, Fresh and Shannon? Let's get it lit tonight on PYB, man. Hey, it's like 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Man, we got a few weeks until it's camp time. We got a few weeks. We got like 3, maybe 4. And it's like 6 or 7 till we get to the preseason thing. So I'm ready to go, bro. And Wednesdays, is always my time because it's a safe place and I ain't got to deal with all them shenanigans and all the riffraff on them other spots. You know how I go.
Shannon, what's up, man?
Just excited about the show. I was telling you before we started, there's some storms here, so hopefully I'll have a good signal the whole show.
Yeah, we got storms down here about 3-4 o'clock in the DC area. My dog was all barking and going crazy. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it's almost dark.
Yeah,
I had to cut some lights on. You know what I mean? Usually that time of day, light coming all in the house. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Tell you got them big bay windows too, bro. Your stuff be lit up like a Christmas tree.
I know. I like to keep the blinds closed. My wife like to open them up, man.
Yeah,
I don't like all that sunlight. I like sunlight sometimes. I want sunlight. I step out in the backyard on the deck or something like that, man.
Hey, Black and Gold Pod said it's a no ops Wednesday. Absolutely. Listen, you get the first big fact sign of the night. Big facts. We ain't got no ops in here, man. No opposition, man. That's what I'm talking about. Kick it off right. Steelers safe place, bro.
Steelers safe place, but they still find their way to the live chat, though.
I know they be sneaking in. Got to keep an eye on them, man. Got to keep an eye on them.
But definitely shout out to the live chat, the Black and Gold Standard podcast, Afton, the chat general, Claude Bishop in the building, gonna stay matrix free tonight. Val Ford, Jay Sneed,
the Quad Father in there, Brent Howell is in there, Blackstreet is in there, Noah Olson is in there, NSMC99 is in there.
Ted Jones say hit the like, which in big G language mean get them algorithms up.
The rhythms. Get the rhythms. Hey, man, I can't wait till wait till y'all see my new signs, man. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm so happy. My daughter literally is upstairs working on it right now, man. She's literally upstairs working. I'm paying her, man. I'm paying her to get my signs right for the new season, man.
It was much more kind of a legendary thought, man, to think of you, man, sitting, drawing, coloring, sitting Indian style on the floor, Big G. In your gym shirts with a t-shirt on, just sitting in the middle of the floor working on your signs, man.
I'm about a 35%, 40% contributor. I am realistically. I sit right there with them, with the kids. But I got daughters, even though they're grown. As kids, man. I used to get out and color with my kids all the time, with my daughters, because that was just a time, a dad and daughter time thing we could do. And so now they're like, well, Pop, you got a podcast, so all the little stuff we used to draw and show us how to draw, we're gonna do it for you now. And so the kids keep me. I'm strapped up. I'm strapped up this year, man. I'm telling you, in the fall, it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. And I got some ones that's gonna be monumental. I'm talking about I'm gonna go on the Mount Rushmore sign making of all time. I'm gonna be on the Mount Rushmore, man, without a doubt, Tate. Without a doubt.
You got momentous signs?
Oh yeah, I got some momentous. Listen, you'll see. Shannon, my goal is to knock Shannon out of his chair. Like to have him laugh so hard. Yes. Like that he see, like I'm not gonna show him or tell him anything. So we just gonna be talking about something, and I'm gonna have him laugh so hard he just falls out his chair. That's my whole goal, is to get him to fall out his chair, man.
Just go to springing on me.
Yeah, springing up on you, man. And just have you just die laughing, man. That's my whole goal, man.
Kevin Brokenborough, what's up, man?
What's cracking, bro?
From the PYB crew.
Yeah, for sure.
The triple OG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a lot, man.
Myself.
Yeah, we got a lot.
I love I love the first name Kevin.
Where?
Kevin
Oh, yeah.
Brogan. I'm saying I like his first name. Big-G got the best first name ever.
That's big trash because you don't like nobody calling you by your first name. Come on, man. You don't like that. You like the Tate boy or Tate Fresh and all whatever else, man.
No,
Come
man,
on now.
you the only one really called me the whole Tate boy Fresh. That just was a name from back in the day. But you know nobody really calls me Kevin. Everybody calls me Tate. My mom and wife call me Kevin.
Yeah. But you know what? Most people don't call me by my government name neither. Most people call me G or Big G, but that's just because we were kids. That's how all this stuff started, man. Started back in the day.
That's what I'm saying. I think I'm even the one that gave you the Big G nickname.
Big facts.
I think I am.
Big facts.
I started calling Shane S. Dot, Mike West M. Dot. My wife said, "Why you give everybody nicknames?" I said, "I don't know. It's endearing once you give somebody a nickname."
Yeah. Easy to remember, and then you know what they are. So that is true.
But fellas, I told y'all in our chat already. We're gonna let the people know what we're gonna talk about today: the return of Blitzburgh. We're gonna talk about. We got an all defensive show, all defense. If you got any question, anything you know about offense, ask it in the first 5 minutes, because then we go on all defense. And Shannon and Big-G are gonna get on the blackboard, not literally because we don't have a blackboard on a podcast, but they're gonna talk about some of the. We're gonna talk about all the players that we think are gonna make the defensive roster, and talk about the levels, the back end, the linebackers, and the defensive line. I want you guys to get into some X's and O's, some schemes. Who you think, ideally, what do they want from Minka? What do they want from TJ? What are we expecting from Keanu Benton, for example? I mean, so yeah, we're going all defense, and I don't know. I think that's probably about it to let everybody know what we're doing right now. Real quick, we're gonna jump to break. Get one of those 2 breaks that we typically try and do. Get that in here right now. If you're on YouTube, we just getting the party started, so we ain't going nowhere. Just stay with us. We're gonna take a quick pause. If you're listening on one of the audio platforms, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. I said Apple already. iHeartRadio is what I meant. Be sure to just hear a few words from our partners. We got to pay some bills, and we'll be right back after this.
The big fine, Shannon. I got him with the big fine. I got him right off the back.
Man. I'm glad you know why I press mute during the ad break, because when you go back in and upload the audio, you got to load the commercials. When it's quiet, you can see where you need to insert the commercials.
That is facts. Facts.
So you and Shannon don't never help out with that. So I hear like y'all breathing and coughing and sipping.
No, I hit mute. I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't throwing nobody on the bus, but I hit the mute button, bro. I don't know nothing about it. I'm looking around. I don't know. No.
But guys, we're gonna talk about the return of the Blitzburgh, right? So we know for a long time, whenever the Steelers are good, the Steelers have never won a Super Bowl just based off offense or being an offensive team that outscores everybody.
Never in their history.
Never in their history. I mean, I think they had some good offensive performances in Super Bowls, right?
Facts. They did. Very good. Great offensive performances, actually. But most of the time, straight defense.
I think back to the Super Bowl against the Rams, the 1980 Super Bowl. I think back to the one against the Cardinals. I mean, I don't know if that was an offensive, but Ben won that game at the end. Ben
Yeah,
and San Antonio Holmes.
He was chucking that bad baby. He was chucking it all night.
Right. But so 2 out of 6, mostly defense. So the return of Blitzburgh, I think the key to returning to that style of ball is from the players we see on the graphic here. The linebackers, Cam Hayward, we probably could have pictured Keanu Benton, but that front seven, just that front seven in general. So we're trying to get back to. I mean, what do you think the Steelers have done, either one of you, both of you at some point, but one first and the other? Give me something you think the Steelers have done this offseason that says that's the direction that we're headed.
Shannon, I'll let you go first, man, because I got some research, bro. I done did a whole – listen, when I'm telling you I done went in the bag, been watching the clicker, got information, I got some bag information. So I'm going to let you go first, bro, just to see what you got.
Well, I actually did a podcast on the return of Blitzburgh a few weeks back. The reason why I think that that's what's going to happen is based on the defensive line. Is they really didn't try to upgrade the defensive line in this draft class. They focused on the linebackers and the secondary. I believe that we're going to see more of the defensive linemen tying up blockers, playing two gap, trying to collapse the pocket to, provide sub-pass rush, but really filling lanes and opening up for the linebackers. Because for the first time since a long time, the Steelers linebackers are very athletic, they're very fast, and they're all excellent at getting after the quarterback. Patrick Queen is proven as a blitzer with the Ravens. Well, we know T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, their pass rush prowess. And Landon Roberts is a good blitzer because he's so physical. And he runs over if a running back tries to pick him up. And you have Peyton Wilson coming on at some point this year with his incredible freakish athleticism and speed. And you can use him from a variety of areas. Then they've got such a large and unusually tall, lanky secondary that is, they've went Avatar instead of Smurf. So now you've got the ability to press on the outside. You have faster. How many times in the last couple of years have I been begging for improved speed in the secondary? Well, I think they have that now. And I think you can see blitzes even from cornerbacks. You've got your slot guys, Beanie Bishop, who's small, but he's very fast, very physical. Elliott, Deshaun Elliott, who could be in the slot some. He's very fast, an excellent blitzer. We know Mika, if he gets the opportunity, even though you want him ball hawking most of the time. But what I'm saying is their athleticism is in the back seven. The front four, or the front three, the defensive line, usually a 3-4, but they're not in that very often anymore. Just to start the game, usually. I think these guys are going to be more like Aaron Smith, Brett Kiesel, like we talked about it. They're going to try to go back to tying up blockers, and they'll pass rush, but it's going to be a controlled pass rush. And they're going to let these back guys feast. So there's where my thought, by watching how they did not address the defensive line other than Dean Lowry, who I think is a good addition, and he's going to be a good part of the rotation. But Keanu Benton right now is the only guy I would say is a above average pass rusher. Cam Hayward can be again, but it remains to be seen, will he? If he can give them a pass rush like he has in the past, say 8 to 10 sacks, that's going to change that pass rush up a lot. It's going to make them even more dangerous. But I think the sacks and that pressure is going to be there like it used to be with the Blitzburgh, because they're going to be able to play tighter defense on the backside. So that's why I think that a return to the Blitzburgh style is imminent.
Yeah. Shannon, I don't disagree. Tate, I'm going to read this question to you, Andre Coleman, before I jump in the bag and start giving the fans what they want to hear about this defense, man. Andre Coleman said, Tate, there's a fun fact. Super Bowl 14 was the last time the Steelers won with both offense and defensive rankings in the top 5. I think that's big facts. I think that's big facts for sure, Andre. Thank you for the comment, man. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Tate, don't get fined, bro. Don't get fined. Don't get fined.
Thanks, man. Super Bowl 14 probably was one we was talking about. I bet that's probably the Rams Steelers Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Hey, go ahead, Tate.
No, I was just gonna say, and I bet any other Super Bowl they won since then, which I guess it was only 2. But I bet those 2, both with Ben, I bet the defense was ranked higher than the offense in both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let me give this preference before I jump in the bag. First of all, capable offense helps improve defense. When you have an offense that can score between 20 and 24 points a game, it changes the complexity of every game plan that's out there in the NFL because you have the ability to score points. When you're scoring, that puts pressure on the other team. That means they take chances more than what they would. That means they hold on to the ball longer than what they would. So I'm saying all this before I start in about the defense. Our improvement on offense is going to help our defense more than what you've ever seen because we have a capable offensive coordinator, we have a capable quarterback, and we have improved across the offensive line. So the offense is going to help the defense, right? That's number 1. Okay. Number 2 is this. Do any of you guys know? I'm just going to ask you 2. Do you know what years the Steelers set the sack record for the team? There's 2 of them. They tied. You know what years they did it?
I don't.
One. Shannon, you know.
No, I don't.
2017 and 2020, 56 sacks, right? Those were the 2 seasons. 17 was Watt's rookie year, by the way. So, and 2020 might have been his healthiest year. But I believe this year you will have more health based on the depth for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because last year for the Steelers defense, do you know what defense we were in more than anything?
Nickel.
We was a nickel. 37.1% of the time, the Pittsburgh Steelers was in nickel. What that's telling me is if I got to go big nickel, that means I don't have linebackers that can run. And that's telling me that my linebackers are getting cooked by tight ends, by inside slot receivers. So I got to go big nickel to get more athletic guys on the field. That's also telling me I don't have enough going on with the pass rush from the inside guys. And I think you're going to see for the first time in a long time, the Steelers ain't going to be in nickel no 30% of the time. What's going to happen is they're going to catch you in base defense, and they're going to run that single high cover 1 or that 2 high cover 2, and they're going to send dudes from everywhere, and you're not going to know where it's coming from. Even when we line up against teams that when we have to play, supposedly they got a slot inside guy. When you got a guy like Peyton Wilson that can run like a deer, and you got a guy like Patrick Queen that can run like a deer, you ain't got to sub. Yep. You don't have to do sub packages because now when you put the players on the field, you ain't got to run a DB and to cover a slot or to cover a big tight end. And so therefore, Shannon, going back to what you said, and I'll get into it even in depth even more. The Steelers were famous with Blitzburgh back when we had linebackers that had DB speed, but had the mentality to be able to put themselves in the scheme and drop in coverage. I'll never forget one of the plays. I don't know why I remember this. Is I remember one time when we was running Blitzburgh and Casey Hampton dropped in coverage, and he got an interception, and I was like, "Holy crap! What in the world?" That's because
that's why you remember, because Casey Hampton got an interception.
Yeah, but they were in basic press. Matter of fact, they was in cover 2. They was in cover 2 when he got because I saw it on the little thing. I did my little clicker and looked at it on Patreon. I was like, oh, they was in cover 2. They just didn't know where the blitz was coming from. And I think now with the Steelers, because you have avatar corners, you got linebackers that can run like deer, you put yourselves in position where you ain't got to play nickel defense 37% of the time. That's just how I'm going to start out with, man. I got some other stuff. I'm going to drop knowledge on y'all because I'm telling you, I done been in that bag. And I'm like, okay, look at personnel, look at scheme, look at what we're going to do. And Pittsburgh got something for the NFL this year, bro. They got something for them, Tate.
Okay. Dropping facts, says Quad Father, says Big G, dropping facts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it real quick then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about personnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depth, starters, the whole defensive roster.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this graphic here. There's levels to the defense, right? So
Facts.
We got Grady Brown, coach of the corners, defensive backs. We got
Very
Aaron
good coach.
Curry,
Mm-hmm.
the coach of the off-ball linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I put the best two players from each level of the defense on this graphic. But we're gonna talk about anybody you want to talk about, right?
Mm-hmm. Facts.
So it starts up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the defensive line. Coach Carl Dunbar. Picture we got Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton pictured.
Facts.
But so let's start with that, Shannon. We'll go right to you with this one first. So we got those two guys pictured. My question to you, Shannon, is, and I'll pull this back up in a second. I want to let everybody see you guys talk. But my question to you, Shannon, is the defensive line, Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton pictured. Who else makes it? How many guys makes it, and who else are they? Your prediction for the D-line going into camp as we stand right here today on June 26th.
Well, I would say they're going to definitely be Hayward and Benton and Ogunjobi.
Mm.
Lowry is going to be your first guy off the bench if he doesn't supplant Ogunjobi with his being perpetually injured. We need Ogunjobi to play closer to his salary this year because next year I think they're going to be doing an upgrade on this defensive line. Then Montravius Adams, the team, the coaches really like him, and he played better once he come back last year from injury. His scores were higher, so hopefully he can adapt to this new role that I think they're going to have him in. So I would say
what new role is that?
I don't see him as a starting nose tackle at all.
Right, Ben's going to start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Benton, if not Fajoku, I still would like to see Fajoku like an old school. If they're going Blitzburgh, they got to stop the run, especially on early downs. So I'd like to see Fajoku and Adams can play defensive end as well. He doesn't, he can be a tackle, just not nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So then the last lineman is probably going to come down to Loudermilk or Leal. I've heard some good things about Leal. They're saying he's motivated, he's stronger, and I haven't really heard anything about Loudermilk. So, Leal might have a slight advantage in that.
So, if I listen to you correctly, obviously you got Ogunjobi, Benton, and Cam.
Yep.
Then you got Dean Lowry, our acquisition from the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
He's been with Minnesota. He's
Minnesota
been
and
with
the
Packers.
Packers. He probably was with Minnesota last.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Dean Lowry, Fajoku, and Leal.
Well,
Adams and Leal.
Yeah. Well, if Loudermilk or Leal, if they keep an extra guy, then I think Leal might have the edge right now.
So you think they're keeping 7?
6 or 7, yeah, it depends. If they think there's somebody they can slip on the practice squad, I think Adams will beat out Leal, and they might try to put Leal on the practice squad.
Wow. Okay. I think from a philosophical standpoint, the Steelers want to get back to that brand of football that's mean, aggressive, intimidating, and will bull you over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I could see them keeping 7 D linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Just my thought. Go ahead, Big G. What you think about the D line?
I got 7. Ogunjobi, Benton, Hayward, Adams, Lowry, Fiaku, but my number 7 guy is a guy we just drafted. Logan Lee makes the roster. Logan Lee's nasty. He's a nasty. He's a baby Kiesel. You'll see when they get the pads on over in Latrobe. You're gonna see. Go back and watch his tape when he was at Iowa. Watch how he played and watch the style how he played. Yeah, he's light. He's about 280 some pounds. By the time the season starts, they're gonna have him close to about 290 pounds, and he's gonna make the squad. Because Tate, you're absolutely right. You have to have defensive tackles and defensive ends that can stand the opposing team's offensive tackle and offensive guard straight up. If all we got to do is just stand them straight up. If they stand straight up, everybody else can do what they need to do. So you might not get the sacks or the production high in. We might not get one guy who's on the defensive line that gets 10 sacks, but they'll do their job to install the Blitzburgh mentality, which means that's you can get penetration, but your main job is to stand the guy straight up. If you stand him straight up, everybody else can do what they got to do. So I think they keep 7, bro.
So I agree with both of you guys' list. I think on yours, Big G, and probably Shannon's too. Well, he named him though. You didn't name him. I got Liao making the squad.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can maybe slip Fahoku onto the practice squad easier than you can Liao.
Mm-hmm.
I think Keanu Benton and Montravius Adams have experience. I think, because we have a true nose in the least amount of time of any defensive position on the field.
Facts.
So, I think because of that, you don't necessarily have to keep Fahoko. If you can, then it's great. But if you can put them on the practice squad and bring them up when you need them, that's even greater. That's my thoughts on the D line. I like 7 with that physical mentality. Cam getting older. Ogunjobi always hurt. I think we'll rotate him in and out. I think an experienced guy like Lowry is great to be part of that rotation. I think a young body like Liao is going to be good as being part of that rotation. I think he has something to prove. This is a proven year.
Yeah, facts.
He could be out the league this year if he don't have a good season this year.
Tell you what you calling for him to be on the bench? I need to get my sign up for the bench?
I'm calling for him to be in the rotation. If he be on the bench, he may as well go back to the practice squad like Shannon said.
Okay.
You didn't even have him as one of the 7.
Sure didn't, because I got him cut or on the bench. I got him on the bench.
I believe in the kid's potential. I mean, he's a 3rd round draft pick, played in the SEC, was good. I think the past 2 years here, he's been kind of like a man without a position. I think he finally put that little bit of weight on. I think they're going to put him on the end and not try and put him out on the edge, coming in for TJ and Highsmith. He's going to come in for Cam and Ogunjobi and, play probably 20, 25% of snaps, be part of that rotation. That's what's really big with Andy Wild in Philly, their defensive line and a strong offensive line. Shannon mentioned, think they're going to fix the defensive line next year. I can see them doing what they did this year, Shannon, with the offensive line, with the defensive line next year.
Yeah.
But who's got to make the jump is Benton. Keanu Benton has to make the jump.
Definitely.
He's the whole key to it.
Yep.
The whole key to the defensive line is the jump of Keanu Benton. If Keanu Benton jumps based on his projection and based on what we know he can do, we're ready to ride. We're ready to ride with them front 7.
I'm high on Logan Lee. I just think he needs a redshirt year. That's why I think practice squad is more likely, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with Shannon with that. So if I was your guys, you kept Big G. If you replaced it for Hoku with Logan Lee, put him on the practice squad, I think he's safe too. I can see it that way too.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can stash the Marvin Liao. Somebody will get him. And who knows? It may not be good for somebody else, but somebody will get him.
Yeah, facts. That's facts.
So real quick, we talked the defensive line. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back, and I'm gonna identify one player each on the defensive line. I'm gonna give you guys the player, and I want you to tell me what their overall role will be in this defense, and that's how we'll carry it out for the rest of the positions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watching on YouTube, you know we're not going nowhere. About to take a quick break, listen on audio, have to hear a few words from our partners and pay some bills, and we'll be right back after this. And we're back on the Pump Your Brakes podcast on this all defensive podcast. So we don't want to offend anybody. We're here to defend everybody and talk about all this defense. So, Big G, you always try and call on Shannon to go first, but I'm gonna call on you this time first. So, of all the players on the defensive line, I want you to tell me. Okay, tell me what the role of Cameron Hayward is. What's his role at age 34 in his 13th season for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are you? Oh, big fine, Shannon. Big fine.
I got it. I seen it too. But see, I told you I always hit the button. But listen, so his number one responsibility and role is to stay healthy. That is, and so in order to keep him healthy, I know he's coming off the surgery, I know he's coming off the injury, you have to limit his snaps. So it's down in distance, which in turn means that the Steelers need to get up in games where you can rotate some of the other players out. Because we're going to need Cam those last 8 games, 100% healthy, and we're going to need him in the playoffs. So his number one responsibility, stay healthy. You ain't got to kill yourself. You got other capable players around you. It's time for you to take a little step back and let some of those other guys step up.
What you expecting in production from me this year, Big G?
Seven sacks, a lot of pressures. Might make a play or two from a fumble recovery standpoint. Might even get a pick.
Pass deflections.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the whole thing about standing the lineman straight up. You stand the guy straight up. Now the quarterback's got to lob it, and then therefore you can jump up or whatever. But you're not going to see the exotic packages where you see Cam dropping coverage like you've seen before. Cam's in there strictly to stand those offensive linemen straight up and to get a push, And you might even see Cam a little bit at that nose tackle. I wouldn't be shocked. From a rotational standpoint, you get him off the weak side defensive end and put him at that nose tackle to get that push. So yeah, that's what I like for Cam. So go ahead, Tate.
I was about to say, okay, Shannon, you agree with Big G had to say about what the role and expectations for Cam are this season?
Yes, I'd even suggested it as far back as probably the end of 2022 that I thought that Hayward, to lengthen his career and his effectiveness in the Steelers defense, should consider moving to nose tackle. As he loses some of that pass rush ability. Cam Hayward's one of the strongest guys in the NFL.
Facts.
And if he would fully commit to playing nose tackle, he hates it. He absolutely hates playing nose. He's done said it. They've swung him in there a couple of times, I guess maybe trying to, see how he'll do. And he just doesn't like it. Because when the reporters ask him about it after the game, he's not a fan. But I still believe, if we remember Tyson Alulu, he lengthened his career, and he was very, very effective when he moved inside. And Cam Hayward is a much better player and a much stronger player than Tyson Alulu. And then that would allow Benton to get an early start of filling Cam's shoes and being able to use his more effective pass rush right now from Cam's position.
So hold on, Shannon. That's a player I was going to have you assess as Benton. So go ahead, take off with it.
Yeah, I just think Benton is the perfect replacement for Cam. And then that would allow the Steelers, as we said, in the next draft, to focus on, finding a replacement for Ogunjobi and maybe finally filling bring in a strong run stuffing defensive tackle, whether he's a true nose or not. There's going to be, I just think they got too much talent at linebacker, too much athleticism to not make these changes to the Blitzburgh style that we're talking about.
Nice. Now, I think both you guys nailed both the players you talked about and really elaborated on Cam. We should, because he's the potential future Hall of Famer. He's the heart and soul of this team right now. He's the carryover from the other generation, the other defense. He played with a lot of those guys. The last time we were really, really good, the Troys and the Kiesels and the Aaron Smiths and those guys.
There's no disrespect in the suggestion of moving him to nose. It's only because he will make it. It'll make him even more effective for the Steelers defense right now. We got to remember, Joe Gray was the best defensive tackle I'd ever seen. And then he made the sacrifice to play where he was cocked right up against that center. And if remember when he made that change, he sacrificed some of his statistical effectiveness, but the steel curtain was never better.
Right.
I mean, Joe sacrificed. And to me, you think of Mike Webster, you think of Mean Joe, you think of guys who were the ultimate teammates, the ultimate team players who sacrificed for the good of the group. And in this case, that would be what Hayward would be doing.
Like it.
So let's go to the edge now. I mean, so we got probably, arguably, one of the best edge duos in football.
Who's better? I say they're number one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's out there. Might be an op listening in the live chat somewhere, Tate, but I ain't seeing it.
They have Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Ware for Dallas ranked ahead of them.
No way, dog.
I read something recently that was a thing. I ain't saying it's so. I'm saying it was a thing. But okay, Shannon, you go ahead. Tell us what to expect from TJ. What's his role? I think that's pretty simple. But the thing is, you get to tell us what you potentially see the production to be.
Well, do you want me to talk about just TJ, or can I talk about the linebackers in general?
Well,
I don't want to, because my thing is I'm very excited about the linebackers, if you can't tell. And
we gonna get to the line. We're talking about edge right now.
Okay, I'll try to keep it just to the edge, because my plan eventually I'll tell you why I think that having these guys in the linebacker corps is so important. It's so special. We're going to make the Steelers unique this year. TJ Watt, the reason you rank anybody ahead of Watt and Highsmith is because they're disrespected TJ Watt. TJ Watt is the best defensive player in football. He has no weakness. He does everything above average, everything well. It does not matter what you ask him to do. Any responsibility you give him, he can get it done. Now, who else could you say that about in the NFL? I mean, Micah Parsons is an incredible talent, but he's not TJ Watt. And I don't know who else you're going to say. I guess Myles Garrett. But again, he's not TJ Watt.
Get him out of here.
TJ Watt has no weakness. He takes no plays off. And then Highsmith is an elite player on that level as well. Coming off.
You jumping on G's person. G got Highsmith.
Okay.
Go ahead and go to Herbie.
Well, okay, now Herbie is the key. Well, one of the keys, but I can't talk about all the keys. But this Blitzburgh, when they were at their best, they had Greg Lloyd, Kevin Green, Chad Brown, and LeVar Kirkland.
Facts.
All these guys could do everything. I mean, I remember Kirkland and Brown running with receivers down the seams.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, oh, you're going to get behind us because them two guys could run with them.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirkland at 280 before breakfast. So we're going to see something very similar this year.
Mm-hmm.
And, Nick Herbig is an incredible athlete with the best closing speed of all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's put on a little strength, he don't have to necessarily put on 10 pounds. If he gained 5 pounds, but he's gained functional strength, he's got that bend, he can get low, and that explosiveness off the corner. He showed what he could do last year. He had, I don't remember how many sacks he had, 4 or 5. But I think we're going to see double that out of him this year.
Ooh.
Because he can also drop into coverage. He can do everything, anything you ask him to do. The Steelers got a lot of those guys this year.
Nice. Big G, go ahead with Alex Highsmith. What his role is in potential production. He had 14 sacks in 2022, signed the contract. I don't think he slacked last year, but just wasn't a great year for him. He had 7 sacks last year, but he had some splash plays. He had the interception against Cleveland. He ran back for a touchdown and some forced fumbles and stuff. But what do you see for him, his role in this defense this year?
Highsmith fell off with sack production because of the injury to Watt. The way that the Steelers defense is set up from a 3-4 personnel standpoint.
Didn't TJ play all 17 games last year?
No, TJ was injured quite a bit. He missed plays. I don't know if he missed games, but he missed plays.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Well, I think he missed having Hayward around.
Yeah.
Because Hayward tied up, the blockers, and that let Highsmith get after the quarterback.
But from a developmental standpoint, so you got to remember when Watt first came, it was Watt and Bud Dupree. That was the combo. I think from a developmental standpoint, Highsmith is leaps and bounds better than Bud Dupree. Leaps and bounds. Because he has the prowess and the sense to understand what the concept or scheme is for the defense. He makes plays all over the field. It's not just about him stacking the quarterback. He makes open field tackles. He drops into coverage. He gets interceptions. So I think Highsmith's development will improve this season. I'm looking for him to get double digit. I'm looking for him to get double digit along with Watt to have double digit sacks this year, without a doubt. But I think that he'll get 1 or 2 interceptions as well. Definitely. And I think he's going to be a run stopper because last year in the defense, like when we played the 49ers very early on, it was obvious they was running straight at Highsmith. And it's like, okay, what did you not get? By the end of the season, teams was not running straight at Highsmith. They was not running straight at him, man. It'd be a broken play here or there, but nah, they wouldn't run at him. So Highsmith's actually one of the biggest keys for the improvement of Blitzburgh or the return to Blitzburgh defense in 2024.
Okay, I like that. So let's just jump right into the inside linebackers. Go ahead, G. You go first with inside linebackers. Just talk about them briefly. Give yourself a minute and a half, 2 minutes at the most, and we'll let Shannon talk about what he thinks about the inside linebacker room.
The most improved position on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster for 2024 is the inside linebacker. Yep. You cannot add Patrick Queen, who's an all-pro, not a Pro Bowl, an all-pro player, caliber player, big-time player, a cog in a defense, and then go draft a Peyton Wilson, who was the number 1 linebacker in this last year's draft and not improved by leaps and bounds. We were putting stuff together with shoestrings and tape and masking tape and mirrors last year based on the injuries that happened, right? Which in turn was actually a blessing in disguise because it showed how good Elandon Roberts actually is. So we didn't know. We thought it was Alexander. We were signing guys off the street. We didn't know. Well, Roberts proved that he's a football player. So now, if Cole Holcomb comes back healthy, Roberts, Peyton Wilson, Queen, this is the best inside linebacker core we've had probably since 2010. That's what I say.
Wow. Okay. I like that. Shannon, go ahead. What do you think, man?
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with what Big G said. You've got Patrick Queen. I think Peyton Wilson should be the starter sooner rather than later because the dude is 24 years old. He's more mature than his experience, this being a rookie in the NFL. But he's the age of a lot of guys starting in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He can start sooner rather than later. They said his IQ is off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
He can wear the green dot immediately. Like
Facts.
I said, he knew the playbook at rookie camp. This guy, it will not suffer paralysis of overanalysis. Where if you give him the green dot, he's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And his athleticism is off the charts. I just believe that he's going to be the starting dime linebacker right off. But I think he's going to work his way in there.
Mm-hmm.
You have a Landon Roberts, who I knew about 2 years ago when I wrote the article. When
Mm-hmm.
Brian Flores came from Miami, I said, bring a Landon Roberts with you.
Mm-hmm.
And Landon Roberts comes the year after Flores is gone. But we all knew Roberts is a hitter, and he loves football. But we seen last year he could cover. When he was the last standing guy out of the starting linebackers, they had, all these practice squad guys in there, Mikael Walker and these other guys. He was the guy that was taking coverage duties. And that's the best I ever seen him in coverage. If Cole Holcomb comes back, we missed a little bit of the early part of the year on the pup list probably. But if he can come back near where he was, they're going to have such a rotation of guys. What I was talking about earlier, Peyton Wilson, you can let him start out and look like he's like they used to do Chad Brown. He's in the inside, then you swing him in, you blitz him from the corner. You blitz him around the edge. You let Highsmith. You let Herbig drop back.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much creativity that they could do with this group of linebackers because they're all versatile. They're all athletic. It's not used to. Even Vince Williams was kind of a weakness in coverage, as we knew. We had guys that were one-trick ponies, kind of. All these guys could do it all.
Facts.
Nice.
So I think that the versatility and creativity is only up to the limitations of what Austin can design.
Facts. Big facts.
Okay, so lastly, the back end, the secondary, Grady Brown's group. Picture, we have Joey Porter Jr. and Minka. I think you get no argument those are the best two players in the secondary.
Facts.
But so what do we think about this unit this year? Just talk about as a general unit and any one player you want to identify to single out.
I think we have more depth in the back end than we've had in years. So I was looking at some percentages because I told you I went in the bag, man. Do you know that Levi Wallace was targeted 40% of the time against opposing teams' defenses? And the passes completed on him was double than any other Pittsburgh Steelers defensive back. So now we don't have him anymore. Now we have Jackson, who's a serviceable corner. We've got Cam Sutton, who's already played in our scheme. You got Corey Trice, who's going to be healthy. You're going to have a much improved Darius Rush. And on top of that, I love Elliott and KZ playing safeties along with Minka, let alone Joey Porter Jr. being a top 5 corner in the league. So this is the must improved defensive backfield that we've been waiting on in Pittsburgh for several years. And I think that this year that's how you're going to see the Blitzburgh come into play, because back when we was Blitzburgh, Tate and Shannon, who was making all the sacks was really them DBs. Them DBs was coming down causing pain. It was a lot going on for them outside linebackers, but when you didn't know where it was coming from, oh man, everybody's head was on a swivel. And I think KZ, Minka, Jackson, heck, they might send Joey Porter Jr. on the dang on. They might send a cover 2 and have Minka over the top of him and say, JPJ, go get him. You might go. I'm telling you, that's what you're going to see this year from the defensive schematics with Coach Austin.
Okay, Shannon, what do you think?
I love listening to Joey Porter Jr. doing interviews. I've heard 3 separate interviews when they talked to him about the future of the cornerback position in Pittsburgh. He always mentions Corey Trice, Darius Rush. They look at themselves like the 3 amigos. There's a closeness there. There's a bond there. There's a familiarity there because they're all similar size, length. They're avatars. Then everybody's talking about, we got back Cam Sutton. We'll have to see how the legal issues pan out and any suspension. But Cam Sutton we was talking about Justin Simmons. Well, now you got a guy who can play some slot and he can play some safety. He did his last year. Remember, he ended that Franco Harris Memorial game there
against the Raiders.
With that big interception at the end. Cam Sutton could easily play deep and let Minka roam and let these other guys, Deshaun Elliott, go up and blitz or let him pick up the slot. Again, another group of versatile guys that can do so many different things that the Steelers can throw so many guys out there and do things that they just couldn't do in the past. There is no guy that I look at and go, oh, no, Levi Wallace is in the game. Or, oh, no, Robert Spillane's in the game. And I love Spillane, but he was a weak spot. They targeted him whenever he was in there 2 years ago. And who are you going to target this year? Sit back and look at this. And if it plays out like we think it will, who's going to be the weak link that they can target?
Nobody.
There isn't.
Nobody.
So that's why I'm expecting such a huge growth. And if Elliott does nothing else but give them his hard-nosed style and bring that attitude and allow Minka to go back to being Minka, this defense is on another level.
Yeah. Elliott is the key to the back end.
It definitely is the key. Yeah.
Elliott is because I listen. I think Elliott. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make a bold statement. Tate, you might hit me with the brakes. Elliott is the best safety that Minka ever played with. He's the best safety he's the best safety Minka ever played with. I know people out there love Edmonds and all whatever else. Elliott is a dog. Elliott is a dog, bro. You know.
I'll say that Elliott is as good as Edmonds. I will admit that. I won't say he's better. The reason why is Edmonds was totally team. He sacrificed, he wasn't worried about splash or recognition. He just did his job and filled in and helped everybody. And I think Elliott can do that, and I hope he does this year.
I think Elliott can do that also.
Yeah.
I think Elliott is more of a playmaker.
Well, definitely more of a playmaker. Yeah.
I think he's a bigger hitter because he's probably played a third of his time at free safety, another 2/3 at strong. So he has that versatility. I don't think Edmonds was able to play free. Not that they'll ask Elliott to do it because they got Minka and KZ.
Yeah.
Is he Ryan Clark-ish?
I think so.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell
Elliott's
you.
very, very Ryan Clark-ish. Probably a better athlete, though.
I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm saying.
A little bigger, too.
A little bigger,
with the same mentality.
Yeah.
We keep checking boxes. We like Ryan Clark, a hitter, big body, athletic. We checking boxes. He's the best safety.
Yeah, he let Troy be Troy. So now we just ask Elliott to let Minka be Minka.
I got to mention one more thing, guys. Kazee could be in trouble. Here's why. They've already let Tristan Thompson go.
They let him walk.
Now, Kazee is in a bad spot because in the NFL, when you develop a reputation, it precedes you. Now, he is a small safety. He has to come up and hit full force to be effective. If he doesn't do it just right, he's suspended or he's going to get a penalty. Now, you have Ryan Watts. You have Ryan Watts, who is another avatar that fits in with those first three I talked about, who has potential to maybe be a starter in the NFL. If he can come in, he could be a great gunner on special teams too. If he can come in, he doesn't have the baggage. He's cheaper. He's bigger. He's younger. He might knock Kazee off the roster.
Shannon in his bag, Tate. Shannon in his bag, Tate. Shannon in his bag. I'm with him with that one. I'm with him.
I hear it. I wouldn't be mad at it because you still got Elliott that can go back and play free.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So Sutton. So you have that versatility. So yeah, I like it. So real quick, Steelers defense 2024. We kind of been on the board without the board. You guys been talking about roles and schematics and things like that. Great job, gentlemen. You know what I mean? I just sat back and let you guys talk to X's and O's and do what both of you do best. Talk. We know it. We know that's what it is. But hey, real quick from both of you. I got two questions. I want you both answer from both of you. And they can be the same if you want. But I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna ask one first, the first question, and then ask the other person the second question first. Then we'll alternate and we get out of here. All right?
Got you.
So, first question, Shannon. Steelers 2024 defensive MVP.
Whoa. I mean, my money's on TJ Watt, but this year, I mean, man, that's a biggie. Because I mean, I think Patrick Queen is going to make a monster impact. And then Minka, if he can get back to being Minka, I mean, that's a toughie. But I'll go with Watt.
Okay, take that low hanging fruit, Shannon.
That's what I did. That's what I did.
Big G. So now you're gonna get both questions. Go ahead. Steelers defensive MVP to you.
Patrick Queen. But I want to take Joey Porter Jr. bad. I want to take Joey Porter Jr. bad. Like, it's just in me. I was like, ugh. But I'm going to take Patrick Queen, man. Patrick Queen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think well, obviously they're both good picks. I mean, they both were some of the best in the league at their position, right?
Yeah.
But so the second question, Big G, for right now, June 26, 2024. I mean, it's no football going on right now.
Facts.
They're not in camp yet. I watched my Reds lose to Shannon's Pirates again today. Reds are trash. So we're watching baseball, and I'm looking at the NBA draft right now. So this question on this day, Big G, and it's hard. It's a long way away. Put your G-Stradamus lenses on, right? That's what you do.
I got to find a sign. Keep talking. I got to find a sign.
So tell me the overall Steelers 2024 defensive rank.
I don't even need a sign for this. I think they finish third in the NFL for 2024. Out of the 32 teams, I think overall defense, the only two teams I have in front of them is the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to finish higher than the 49ers and the Ravens. So I have them third overall for 2024 ranking.
Wow. No 49ers?
No, they'll be higher than the 49ers. They'll be higher than the Baltimore Ravens, but I don't know if they'll have a higher defensive stats or whatnot than the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles. So I got them third overall.
Okay. Shannon, where do you think the Steelers are finishing overall defense for the 2024 season?
I'll say top 5. I can't say where, but I do believe that they'll be top 5 with these additions they've made. It's drastically improved, especially the speed and the linebacker and secondary. So I'll say top 5.
And we're bringing Blitzburgh back. So
yep.
So projection on sacks, both of you. Total sacks for the year.
I think the Steelers, as long as they're healthy for the 2024 season, the sack record falls this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their record is 56 sacks. They did it in 2017, and they did it in 2020. If all players remain healthy, we have no major injuries where a guy is out for a long time, the 56 sack record goes down this year in 2024. That's my projection. That could be a burner or whatever, but I'm calling it more than 56.
I think that's realistic. Shannon, what do you say?
Well, it is a 17-game season now. So that's an extra game there. And I think there's going to be some of the opponent's offensive line are going to be pretty vulnerable. And with all that athleticism, as we've been talking about, I don't think they'll break the record, but I think they'll get a slight, maybe 50 to 52 sacks.
Okay.
I just don't think they're going to be out there as much. I think that the offense is going to be more effective. I think that early in the games they're going to control. They're going to be more efficient in scoring opportunities.
So your snaps are
they
going to
leave
go down.
2 to 3 touchdowns on the board last year. I think they're going to capitalize more, have the lead late in games, and that's where they're going to rack up sacks.
It definitely makes sense when they're going to make teams play from behind. So I'm thinking along Big G's line, I'm saying they hit 60. Couple years ago, Andy Wild's Philadelphia Eagles, I think they got 70 sacks.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
I think with the added speed on the back end and the Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, and we're gonna send the Landon Roberts right up that gut.
Yeah.
Right in the A gap between the center and the tackle, getting the quarterback's face. I'm just gonna go for the most in franchise history and say 60.
I'm with it.
But gentlemen, with that, we about to get out of here. It was a great show. All defense. The all defensive team. Shannon, Big-G, and myself doing my best Teryl Austin. You guys out on the field.
Yeah. He need to call holler at me, man. He need to holler at me. Him and Coach Curry need to holler at me, man.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, Tate, me and Coach Curry got a close like friend. This close, and the guy, you know who Coach Curry played with?
I know he played at
Wake Forest University.
Yeah.
So who'd he play with?
Brian Andrews.
Brian Andrews from Lima, Ohio. Went to Wake Forest University. Brian Andrews got a like friend.
Yeah, I know.
Coach Curry, holler at me. Holler at Brian. Holler at me.
I know Brian. Him and Sister Brittany used to come to my park when I was a park recreation leader back in the day. Obviously, I mean.
Yep.
I mean, if you saying he coached Curry's age, that show you how old we is.
Yeah, they went to school together.
Yeah,
Curry and Andrews went to school together at Wake Forest University.
And at the time coming in, I bet Andrews probably was better. Higher blue chip.
Big facts.
But fellas, man, great show, man. We're about to get out of here. We kind of kept it right at the hour mark. We a little over, a couple little seconds here and there. But we about to go ahead and get out of here for another Wednesday night. Thanks to live chat, everybody, man. We didn't get to incorporate you as much as we typically do, but you see, we had a lot of discussion, a lot of content all about this defense and the direction we think they're going with it.
Tate, before we get out of here, what's the rhythms look like, bro?
112 people in, 55 rhythms, about exactly a 50% ratio. But between now and the outro, they should be able to get it up, right?
Yeah.
We have 55 now. Let's try at least get to 60 before that outro stop playing. So if you haven't hit like yet and you still in the live chat, which 110 of you are, hit that like button. Shannon, anything going on real quick?
Right.
No, just we're trying to come up and provide really good and informative content during this dead period. But as Big G said, we're about a month away from training camp, and then it's all new, baby.
Let's go. Let's go now. Let's go.
Big G, anything from you?
You know what time it is, bro. Safe Place Wednesday. I'm gonna stop calling it Hump Day. Safe Place Wednesday for sure. But then Tate, we got to get on with them ops on Friday. So make sure y'all come out and check us out on the Homies and Homies Overtime podcast this Friday. I think the whole crew will be in the building. So we're gonna have to deal with a lot of oppositions this weekend, this Friday for sure, Tate. Because it's been a minute. The whole crew been there. We all gonna be in the building on Friday.
Okay. Should be informative if nothing else. Nothing from me, but check you guys out Friday. Check Shannon and Daniel on Mondays on The Hangover. Obviously, far as Steel Curtain Network goes, you got myself and Big G on the Pump Your Brakes and the Homies Overtime. Check it all out. Check everything FFSN out. Even if you don't like a team, just look at the podcast, right?
Big facts. Big facts.
So until next week for the Pump Your Brakes podcast. Shannon, go ahead and take us home, man.
Woo!